Well, I grew up in a musical family, so that was part of my drive to be involved in music for my lifetime. And I studied piano, guitar, played in orchestras and choirs, and did musical theater as a kid. But, to be honest, I was really driven by wanting to be a rock star. That was, I think, my primary motivation. I've been in the music business either as an artist, a writer, a producer, a manager, a record company guy for God, so long. I mean, there were dinosaurs when I started, and to remember back to the beginning of it, I got to say that while making music was fantastic and touring with Alice in Chains was a huge highlight in front of thousands of people, I was one of the judges on the Canadian version of Idol, like Pop Idol, like American Idol. We had Canadian Idol, and I felt like that really brought together all of my knowledge about music, my experience in spotting talent, and also how quick I was with my language and to think on my feet and to come with really strong analysis. And there were 3-4 million people every night for 6 years, so I think that was pretty memorable. Popular music is so much about emulation, but in the sense of like we've listened to so much and absorbed so much that it's deep inside us. And, in the West, we're not really just strictly reinventing what music is. So inspiration hopefully is always a part of it, but I like to think of it as a combination of art and science. There's always an artist side. It's arts and crafts, right? You have to know your craft, but to make the art, you have to be inspired. Well, the world has certainly changed, in the modern recording universe. We went, if we want to talk about the 50s and 60s, we went from singles to long play albums, from AM radio to FM long play, album-oriented radio to CDs, et cetera, et cetera. And all of those things had their ups and downs. Our biggest problem right now, I think, because of the streaming services, is establishing a real artist identity where we're not about short clips and we're not about singles and we're not about things that are disposable and come and go really quickly. I think albums gave artists a deeper identity so they could tour, so they could have articles written, so people could really understand them. On the other hand, the instant exposure that everybody's record collection is as big as the universe is pretty amazing. Well, we come back to the moment. Once upon a time where video killed the radio star, and we all know how that goes. And, that was certainly a moment. And we had to re-engage with our audiences, I mean, if you think about how few people ever actually saw the Doors live and actually really engaged with them, as soon as video happened, we started realizing we could manipulate our images in a way that could really appeal to people. So it's been there for a while, and now it's different, I guess, because, not only YouTube, but other places, especially in the short form videos, are having such an impact. The thing is, when an artist becomes about their image, then they better have that be a part of their art to begin with. And in the video long form MTV universe, we were being told by record companies and managers and marketing people what to do. Now you're left to your own devices, and it's, to me, a shame if a great song does not break through because it doesn't fit into the social media or DSP context. But, that's the reality we live in right now, and it'll change because it always changes. But I do think something like Rotor is invaluable. I mean, right now we're in a situation where everybody's doing recording at home and everybody's doing their own mixes and their own mastering, and there's a variety of other tools, especially to the indie artists, but also to artists that are on the next level up, where you're now it's no longer a necessity, although, man, great art directors, great editors, great producers, whatever, they all play a big role and you get great advice from them. But we need to keep filling the pipeline with things. And if we have content that we like, Rotor allows you to now reconfigure it and to create new work out of the work that you've already established, or just to do really interesting things. And you don't have to turn to a third party to say, I have the answer for you. You have the chance to go in with the skills that you have and create something really valid that your audience will appreciate. speaking to my younger self, boy, he's lived a really long and complicated life, and to a certain extent, it's sort of apocalyptic. Like everything added up together to take me to a certain place. So had I not gone to university or done the things or learned to play as a young guy, I would have never been able to have the time I was on the road, and then I would never been able to be a manager and never be able to be a music attorney. So I think it all added up, and I don't know which part I could take out, tell him not to pursue. I think I would tell myself that you must be absolutely singular about the fact that you're chasing a music career during the time you're doing it. No plan B, man. No plan B.